What's up, friends? It's Voltfirecore, and we're going to be taking a look at the tier changes again. I know it is like the 16th or the 15th at the moment, but for some reason Smogon decided to do it again. I was actually not aware of this. I thought inside of a Smogon post back inside of like early November or something, they said they were going to do one in November, one halfway through December, and then they're going to resume the normal stuff at the 1st of December and then continue with the monthly stuff. They just did one at the halfway point inside November since the DLC came out and fucked everything up. But they decided to do it again. So we're going to have two. Well, we had one at December 1st. We're going to have one right now, halfway through, and then one at January 1st. Pretty crazy. But more crazy tier changes happened, and like I expected, PU is a mangled mess, but we'll cover that later. Let's take a look at the usage stats for other tiers besides OU, then we can cover some OU. With ZU, we see some new faces. We got like Manectric, Pinsir, Boltund, some mons that are pretty good inside of PU, but they dropped down to ZU, and it's good to see ZU getting showcased. Unfortunately, Lil Cup is still not getting shown, but it's just going to be Volibee again, so no real reason to take a look at that. PU for Smogon is a little bit different than Pikalytics. Pikalytics is saying that Togedemaru at the moment is the most used, which, personally, from my experience of playing PU recently, seems to be the bigger case. Like, I've seen Jolteon a whole hell of a lot, but Togedemaru is just everywhere. Scarf Togedemaru, it's a Wish Passer, it's a fast U-turner, it is painfully annoying. But Sandaconda, Togedemaru, Jolteon, just the top mons. Surprised to see Turtonator. Pikalytics was not really showcasing the power of Turtonator, so that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll use him. Well, actually, he's probably not going to be that good anymore since some even crazier mons dropped down. NU, this was the thing that was hit hard last time. So as you can see, we have mons like Sylveon, Minshao, Rhyperior, Toxtricity, just a bunch of disgusting mons that were actually banned to NUBL and shit like that. So yeah, that's pretty cool. At least we don't have to deal with the craziness. So this is not too accurate since there's a few mons that were banned, but still. Flygon and NU, Minshao and Sylveon and NU, I do not approve. RU, we have Zarude. This literally looks like UU right now. We have Xurkitree, Darmanitan, Zarude, like I already said, Slowking. Just a bunch of mons that look like they should be UU, but they're RU. And then UU, which looks like OU. There's literally just OUmon after OUmon. And then you have Nidoqueen. It's not Nidoking, but it still has Sheer Force. So, of course, I'm surprised Blaziken is not banned. I haven't seen anything to say that he's banned at a UU at the moment. I've been keeping up with their Twitter as much as I can. But if he's still inside the tier, good god, man. Blaziken and UU. Everyone said, oh, Blaziken, he'll probably just, I don't know, maybe be really good inside of really good inside of OU, and then probably get chucked back up to Ubers. But no, they gave him a chance. And not only they gave him a chance, people just didn't use him enough that he dropped down to UU. Disgusting. And then Ubers, we have a Veltal, which is a solid number 1 now. The only counter to Calyrex Shadow Form, these mons, it's just, they've been here for a while. Surprised we're not seeing no Quagsire. My goal, by the end of Sword and Shield, I want to see Quagsire inside the top percentage of Ubers. That's what I really want to see. That mon is like a full counter to Zacian, and it'd be really cool if we can see him on like that, chilling inside of Ubers, since we got Ditto and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, let's take a look at the OU stats, since that's the biggest chunk. So again, we have another one of those months that Landorus Therian is chilling at the top of the podium, by far. So there is a suspect test going on for Pheromosa, and I'm surprised it's 6th. Like, I expected it to be a little bit higher than that, but I guess maybe people are just not using it for the suspect test or something. I expect the suspect test would make them use it more. I don't know. But yep, Landorus chilling at a solid number 1. Clefable, Urshifu, Magearna. This is kind of what I expected OU to look like for a, looking outside in. This is what I expected when the DLC dropped. All these very strong mons, Toxapex, Ferrothorn, Cinderace, Garchomp. It's good to see Garchomp a little bit higher. Pretty sure he was a little bit lower. Wasn't he like 16th? I don't know. But anyways, this is just all the classic OU mons. I've seen all these dudes quite a bit inside of the tiers. We have Urshifu Rapid Strike barely hanging on to the top 40. Buzzwole, bunch of good stuff. Dragapult's really inside of a weird position. I personally don't think a few of these mons are better. Like, people are using Hydreigon more than using Dragapult, which I guess there may be more counters now. I don't know. But still, like, come on. It's a Dragapult. That thing was like number 4. I don't think it deserves 31st. It's still strong, but a lot of really cool mons here, and the meta is definitely shaping up to be not stally. Like, you can use some stallier tactics, but it doesn't seem to be all balance. There are some mons that can cleave through balance like butter, which is very nice. So when you're watching something, you don't have to just sit back and be like, oh, the only breaker inside the tier is Rillaboom, which is why Rillaboom was so annoying to deal with pre-DLC 2, since he just Grassy Glided, Swords Dance, Grassy Glided, recovered himself with his grassy terrain. And that was kind of the only breaker, since they banned Cinderace, they banned Magearna. It was basically just Rillaboom and Urshifu versus the world of Toxapexes, Clefables, Ferrothorns, basically just all the bulky mons. But the tier's looking pretty cool, and I'm glad that it's shaping up to be a cool tier. I'm not playing OU as much as I would have liked, but that's because, oh, PU's just been pretty fun. But new PU, of course, like I expected, the tier changes hit PU next, and I guess ZU is going to be the next target, but that is kind of the untiered meta. So if you are like a hardcore ZU player, which if you are, very cool, I got to give you my condolences, because my tier was just hit, so yours will probably be hit next. Hopefully it doesn't get as hit hard as fucking PU. So let's take a look at that, since that is probably the biggest interesting part of this video. Alright, so also I hope you guys like this new speedier way of doing it, you could say. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to keep this a little bit, you know, snappy. I don't want to be boring about this shit. Anyways, starting off with the rises, we have Volcarona and Hawlucha. I don't know why these dudes were inside of UU. They were, but they're finally back up to OU, which makes sense. It's a Volcarona and a Hawlucha. No reason for them to be inside that tier. RUBL to UU, Conkeldurr was, I'm pretty sure he was number 1 at the beginning of December inside of RU. And then he got banned since he was a little bit too strong. Like, Guts Mach Punch is a little broken personally. Let me zoom in here. Good God. Zoomed in Slowking is disturbing as fuck. Alright, Grimmsnarl and Slowking rose up to UU from RU. Again, like, I see so many Slowkings inside of OU. Like, mostly it's Galarian Slowking, but still, normal Slowking is still very good. And I'm extremely surprised why he dropped down to RU of all places. That is not cool. And then we have Grimmsnarl, which, like, I know Tapu Koko kind of became the premier screen setter and all that kind of stuff. And, like, there's Klefki, but still, it's still a really strong mon that has offensive presence and defensive presence, unlike something like Klefki. Well, Tapu Koko can be offensive and defensive, I guess. But Grimmsnarl's bulkier. Anyways, we have Obstagoon. Why was that thing NU? That thing was NU. It got banned almost immediately, but still, for a moment, that thing was NU. And then we had these two, which one of them makes a little bit more sense. Like, I could see Umbreon putting down some work inside NU, but still, it's a little too bulky for that tier. And then fucking Rhyperior. Check the older video if you want to see my opinion on that, since that was disgustingly shocking for me. Yeah, but that's going to be all that. Oh, there's PU. Good God. Alright, OU to UU. The Regieleki, unfortunately, Regielektrokid got chucked back down, or chucked down inside of UU. Of course, he has serious problems with countering ground types, but still, specs on this mon is disgusting. If you have a resistance, it doesn't matter. You literally need a ground type or you lose. You need a Volt Absorber or you lose. This mon is insanely fast, doesn't even need speed investment, but personally I think speed investment is probably the way to go for like Scarfers and shit like that, since this mon's kind of frail, so I don't think HP or something is too helpful. But still, good God, I don't know what they were thinking with this mon, getting dropped down to UU, so this is going to be a very threatening mon inside of UU, I suppose. UU to RU. Now this one's actually kind of strange. So we got Cobalion, Alolan Marowak, Stakataka, and Volcanion. I don't really have too much experience using any of these mons, but still, RU is pretty crazy for Alolan Marowak, which can basically like two-shot most things inside the game. And then you got Stakataka, which is another cool Trick Roomer. I guess Trick Room's not being used too much or something. Volcanion, still, it's like the ultimate water counter, like ultimate rain team counter, I guess. Kind of, probably not. But still, I mean, Cobalion. All these mons, like, I really expected them, well, the last three, I expected them to at least be like, no. I expected Stakataka and Volcanion to probably stay OU, since I think they're still viable inside that tier. Cobalion, I can kind of see inside of RU a little bit, and Alolan Marowak maybe could be UU, but like, these two, the two at the end, they're very strong mons. They have a lot of possibilities you can use with them, but I guess they didn't hold up to snuff. Now, I'm not saying these mons are bad by dropping inside this tier. If anything, they'll probably get more use inside of these lower tiers because they will be absolutely dominating. Or they won't, and then they'll just drift inside of like BL or something, which makes sense. I doubt these mons will stay inside of RU, but who knows? RU to NU, we have the legendary Facade, Toxic Orb, Tornadus, Incarnate. Shout out to Dunce's tournament game when he attempted to use Toxic Orb instead of Flame Orb. I don't know what he was doing, but whatever. So Tornadus over here dropped down to NU. I've never used a Tornadus Therian, but I assume it has pretty good stats since it is a Therian form. No, an Incarnate form, like the others, so... And it has Prankster, pretty sure, so... I think it has some viability inside of higher tiers. But NU's a little harsh, but again, this tiering recently has been quite harsh. RU to PU with Ditto, that mon's just the Drifter mon, depending on if it's used inside of OU a lot, if it's used inside of other tiers. It got chucked up inside of RU because it was used a little bit. Speaking of mons that got chucked up to RU, we have Politoed. It was getting used inside of RU since Barrascuda was like RU for a little bit or something like that. Yeah, like RU had like Toad and a bunch of really crazy mons inside that tier. But now drop back down all the way to ZU, which is hilarious. So, sorry Politoed, at least I'll be able to use Rain inside of PU now. Even though I had a cool Lurantis team that focused on a Scarf Lurantis with a Weather Ball, but no, I had to do self-set Rain, or manual Rain. It worked fine, kind of, but I would have really preferred to have a Politoed. So maybe I'll revamp the team later if this mon stays. NU to PUBL doesn't really mean much, just kind of state that these mons have a chance. Oh god, I'm looking on them right now. Let's close that off. It scares me that Scyther has a possibility of going down to PU. It's a pretty scary mon, especially with heavy duty boots. Evilite's annoying, but still, heavy duty boots just made this mon really crazy. Dual wing beat technician, crazy. Bunch of cool mons. Glad they're like, I'd like to use Absol instead of PU and stuff like that, but I don't know if it's going to even be good, since we got mons down here that are just disgusting. What is this? This is not PU, okay? This is, why do you have Gallade down here, Archeops, and Charizard? Those do not make sense to me. Alright, so let's just cover the top to bottom. I'm not going to cover them all, but let's just look at the most eventful ones. We have a new, actually we have 2 new Hail Setters, I think. Something like that. Yeah, oh, and a Alolan Sandslash. Okay, so we're going to be seeing some Hail, I guess? Maybe? Yeah, so we got Obama Snow. Oh my god. Aggron, he makes sense to be down there. Archeops, really thought he would get more of a rejuvenation in usage due to his heavy-duty boots, since his whole problem was Defiant is just really annoying, but the mon still has like 140 base attack, so... Especially with mons like Cramorant, and these mons I don't think can hold up to Archeops. It looks a little strong, just saying. Yeah. Braviary, kind of crazy. Claydol. We got, the fuck's that thing? Good god, I'm blanking. Doesn't matter. Mr. Krabs. Yes, let's just zoom in on Mr. Krabs. There we go. Klawitzer, good god. Alright, Duraludon, another mon that probably should be used more. Exploud, the Menace is down here. A few of these mons I saw inside of Generation 7 PU. Like Girder, pretty sure he was PU. Golbat, pretty sure he was PU inside the older gens. Actually, I think Girder was banned to NU. I don't know. I watched Pokeaim's Road to Top 10 inside of PU, one of my favorite series, since I really enjoyed watching Gen 7 PU. But yeah, I don't know too much about the tier. Indeedee Female. Let me run that by you. Indeedee Female, the thing that has a stab attack that turns to like 140 base power off of like a solid, I don't even know its special attack. Probably pretty high, so a little surprised about that. Jellicent, we have some Rain down here. Malamar, Passimian, Regifucking-Gigas. Not even like, you know, just the other Regis, no, literal the Gigas down here. That is very surprising since this mon has access to Protect now. You'd think that there would be like some cool stall tactics that you could use to have a literal uber like power mon that has like base 160 or something attack and base 100 speed. You'd think if you can get your hands on that through protecting, substituting, resting, stuff like that, you should be able to sweep through the opponent's team, which most of the time you can do, and I have seen people do it inside of the higher tiers. Like Pokeaim, he did a Regigigas team, and it was pretty cool, but now he dropped down to PU. Speaking of another mon that's going to be kind of an annoying wall, since Regigigas, he's strong. He might have slow start, but he's still a wall. We also got Regirock, I'm going to say right now. You are going to need some counter for this thing. Maybe. Like, I actually don't even know how you're going to deal with this. Like, especially defensive Regirock that has body press now. This thing is insane to deal with. It's so defensive. So you don't even need to run max defense. You could use iron defense, max special defense, body press. It has 200 base defense. And it's a solid rock type. It's just... it will not die. It will not die. This thing is going to be annoying. Rabombi, Roserade, Sceptile. Now, the Fall from Grace, I think this is the lowest, like... there are quite a few starters out there that don't really get the love they deserve. Like, sure, we have Pokemon like Meganium, not really a good mon, Delphox. Of course, those ones, they kind of fell down. But Sceptile, do you think that a mon that has been, like, overwhelming support for, it's like most people's favorite Pokemon, at least on the younger person's YouTuber side? I don't know. Usually the Sceptile is quite loved inside the Pokemon community. So I'm surprised that Swampert became this premier rain sweeper with this Mega Evolution and is quite top tier inside of OU as a flip turner, as a stealth rocker, as a toxic mon. You got Blaziken going for all those kick moves, you know, speed boost, and then you have Unburdened Sceptile, which you think would be pretty cool, but he fell down to PU. Lord. Also, hope you like the art on the thumbnail. Hope I linked it correctly inside the description. Always check the description because I try my best to get the art that I use because I don't want to be a thief, even though the artist will probably come at me like, yo, you used my art without my permission. I'm like, I linked it. No, take down the video, and then I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna have to re-record all this stuff. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Some Savali forms, Surfetched, just why? Talonflame? Yuxi? No, I don't even think Yuxi was PU inside the other tier, or inside of Gen 7. I think it was higher than that, since I think it had more of a niche on, like, Trick Room teams or something. Yeah, I think Mesprit was the only one that was inside of PU. Yeah, Azelf was, like, some tier higher, because it had, like, the whole Stealth Rock lead set. Yuxi, I don't think it was PU inside of Gen 7. Quote me if I'm wrong, or don't quote me if I'm... Please correct me if I am incorrect. Yeah, but still, having that mon down there and the possibility of Mesprit dropping down since it's NU, NUBL, and you know, maybe next tier shift on January will cause even more havoc to happen inside of the PU tier. Anyways, moving on, still have some more, like I already said, Talonflame, Sheerforce, Tauros. I don't know. Oh, another Hail Setter. Okay, so we have all three Hail Setters pretty much, besides the Alolan Ninetales down here. Obvious Alolan Ninetales is putting in that work Vaporeon, don't know why the fuck that's there. I didn't see this, okay? Usually I check this before I make the video so I can make the thumbnail in advance, but what the fuck? I didn't notice fucking Virizion down here. I thought that thing was an RU threat, and not only it dropped down all the way to RU, it was like top 5 at least inside of RU a couple of months ago. Nope, slammed all the way through NU, and now plop itself in this tier. The Swords of Justice, man. Poor Virizion. Well, if you need a counter for Virizion, just use your Talonflame, because for some reason Talonflame is in PU. Let me repeat that. Talonflame is in PU with Gale Wings and heavy duty boots now. A little scary. We actually have Thwacky down here. That just goes to show you the power of Grassy Glide. This baby Pokemon was like dropped down with these menaces, and he's probably going to be a top tier threat in this tier. Actually, I doubt it. There looks like there are a lot of counters that have dropped down. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one of the mons on the thumbnail. Fucking Machamp! Machamp! What happened to you, bro? You've been bullet punching through the entire years, knocking off dynamic punching, guts. He has a million sets that he can use, and he's PU. He's inside the same tier as Girder. I don't really think there's much of a reason to use Girder unless you want Mach Punch or the more defensive stuff of Evilite, but what happened to this? What happened to this tier? A cool Magic Bouncer. I kind of like Xatu or X2. No, Z2. I don't know. I watched an old Mr. Beast video since I like going on his channel, checking out some of his older videos, and one of them is a Pokemon Showdown video from Generation 7, and he calls Xatu, Mr. Man over here, instead of Xatu, he calls like X2 or something, or X2. I'm not too sure, but still a little confusing. ZU, BO, just have Combuskin. Like, it's a cool mon, but I don't think it's going to be able to do anything inside of PU. Look at these threats. Look at these threats. We also have Almastar. That's pretty cool too. And you know, wait a minute. We have Politoed in ZU, and we have Kingdra in PU. Kingdra in PU with rain support, Kabutops, and I'm gonna die, man. We even have Dry Skin Heliolisk coming down here to absorb that rain. You know, there are just some mons down here that I have a feeling aren't going to get banned. Like, the council can't chuck everything out of this tier. Some of these mons are going to stay. And that scares me. Because P used to be such a nice and calm place, and now it's this... Sorry about the pause there. That was my my phone beeping at me very loud. Almost made me shit my pants in here. I'm very jumpy as a person sometimes. I don't even recall what I was saying. Oh yeah, we have some crazy mons inside the tier, and I am worried. This place is a cesspool or something like that. I don't know. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Cool, but disgusting. Oh yeah, I remember. The PU Council is not going to be able to ban all these bitches, okay? There's going to be some people, some residue, some little grime sitting on the floor. So regardless of what we do, we're still going to have to deal with some of these menaces. So PU as we know it, you know, the place with Sandaconda running around and all that kind of stuff, well, they got to move out of the way, because instead of Sandaconda, we're going to have Exploud just firing off boom bursts. We're going to have full hail teams. We're going to have full rain teams with fucking Kingdra. No, no longer will we suffer. And then PU to ZU, we have some mons that a little sad. Like, I'm a little bit surprised to see Regice down there. I again thought heavy duty boots would help him a little bit more, but I guess his base 200 special defense is not going to help him out that much. And then we got Lurantis. Hurts my feelings that it dropped down to ZU, but it's still one of my favorite mons design-wise and usability-wise, I guess. Yeah, but that's going to wrap it up for the tier changes. You can definitely see the dispersion, I think that's the correct word, of the tiering. You know, some pretty normal stuff like, oh, 1 Pokemon dropped, about 3 Pokemon dropped, and then this giant wad of disgusting stuff. So I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of Pokemon inside of ZU. It really sucks because ZU is already a really stacked tier right now. But you know, to any ZU players, the tier is a little dead, so it's your time to hop back on the ladder, boys. You got to get on there since, you know, instead of having the cool mons that we've been dealing with, we're going to have these disgusting mons. Since personally, I think a mon like, I don't know, what's a good example? Yeah, maybe Jellicent would normally be pretty good, but he might drop down to ZU due to, I don't know, Malamar going for knockoffs and eating the entire tier for breakfast. Well, actually, Malamar's probably just going to die straight up to a, I don't know, Hydro Pump from a fucking Kingdra. The only, like, dragon type we had inside of PU was Altaria, and now we got Kingdra. I just want that to sink in. But that's going to wrap it up for this tier change video. Hope you all enjoyed. Please comment down below your thoughts on this. If you'd like the video, I'm not going to tell you to subscribe, but I would really appreciate if you leave a comment, since that is definitely all I want out of people who watch my videos. If you're watching this, I would definitely like to interact with you in some way, and if I like your comment, I will try to respond to them if there is one, which, you know, if there's not, that's fine. But anyways, I think that's going to wrap it up. So with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and keep on the lookout for my videos.